before we started, I was sitting over here with my sister, and my daddy came up to me and said, "Aren't you going to play the offertory hymn?" And I got quite a snooty look on my face, and I said, "Well, I don't think so. For me tonight." I'm not really like that. I'm just having fun. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. And, the story is so long. I'll just leave most of it for some other time. But I did go to school in Richmond, Virginia, actually, to start with, at Virginia Commonwealth University. And I got my undergraduate degree there. And then I moved to New York. I had always wanted to live in New York. And so I just had to move there, and I went to Manhattan School of Music there. And I ended up staying in New York for almost 15 years. And eventually got a job teaching at Yale University School of Music up in New Haven. And at the very end of my time in New York, I actually moved up to Connecticut to be closer to Yale. And then in 1990 is when I moved down to Portland, Oregon. And I started at the opera actually in 1990. And then that went for 6 years, and then I moved down to the San Francisco Bay Area, actually living just south of San Jose. Well, I say just south. I lived 65 miles south of San Jose and worked in San Jose, so I commuted 130 miles a day. So when I got the job offer back in Portland, after that I was happy to go and commute about 2 miles a day, which I'm doing right now, and it's a great pleasure. It's been a long time since I visited my folks and my sister here in Nashville, and I'm very happy to be here. Thanksgiving is one of my favorite holidays. I don't know, the pressure of Christmas isn't quite on yet, and it's really a great time. It's a wonderful time of giving thanks. And around the Thanksgiving dinner table, before we had our prayer for the food, my father asked us all to tell everybody what we were thankful for, and it was just a wonderful sharing. I had my 2 nieces there who are now adults. I couldn't believe it. The last time I saw them, they were little kids, and now they're grown-up adults, and it's just been a wonderful week. And I've actually spent every afternoon right here in this room working on this program, and my sister as well has spent some time here with me, and so I'm very happy to be here. I'm just doing this to relax. Just take some deep breaths, Tom. By the way, everybody outside of my family calls me Tom. I don't know why that happened, but it did. The first piece I'm going to play is by an American composer, actually. His name is Louis Moreau Gottschalk. He was actually born in New Orleans in the early 1800s, and he wrote music. I only recently discovered him. He's not performed that much, and his music has flavors. He traveled a lot to South America and to Cuba, and his music has a lot of that flavor, and very rhythmic, very vital, and I really enjoy his music a lot. Just a note about him. He decided at some point in his life, when he was about 20 years old, that he had to go to Europe and study in Europe, just like I decided I had to go to New York. He decided he had to go to Paris, to the Paris Conservatory. Well, they rejected him, and the reason on his application said, "Because you're an American." And I thought, well, the French will just do anything to keep us out. But he eventually did get in there,